Well, Ian Irving is standing by to analyse United's win over Burnley. But before we head to Old Trafford, let's get the thoughts of Sean Dyche and first Ralph Rangnick.
Ralph, you wanted a big improvement on the last two games. Did you get that?
Yes, I think so. It was, as expected, a very tough and difficult game against a team who played very physical and very direct. We knew that in advance. So the important part was that we met the physical demands and also the tactical demands. Whenever the ball was in their half, we did well. We also showed the qualities that we have in our team when it was important to score. In our half, we still have a few things to improve on, and we will work on that. But again, it was important today to raise the energy level. And physically and energetically, it was a good performance.
Did Scott McTominay personify that energy that you wanted?
Yes, of course. I mean, I was very happy that he could play. It was not. We only decided that this afternoon because of his ankle injury that he collected at the game at Newcastle. So it was good to have him in the team again.
Who else impressed you?
Well, I think it doesn't make sense to speak about individual players. The whole team performance was a lot better. As I said, it was important to meet the physical demands today. I was also pleased with the performance of our wingers. Jadon did well, especially after he scored. You could see that it lifted his confidence level. And the same with Mason. So and Eddie, the work ethic was amazing. Together with Cristiano, they did a good job against the ball. As I said, overall, it was a good performance.
Were you more direct tonight? It seemed to be David De Gea played the ball longer, more often tonight. Was that something that you purposely wanted?
Well, Burnley constantly tries to put you under pressure, so it makes sense to play the long ball on and off. Because whenever we played the square ball, too many square balls in the first half, we did that one or two times too often in the first half. You put yourself under pressure and cause problems for yourself, and therefore it was the right thing to do.
After the Newcastle game, a few questions were raised by some about the team spirit. Players arguing with each other. Is that something you felt in any way a need to address?
No, definitely not today. But of course, it always has to do with the chronology of the game. I mean, when you're after 7 minutes at Newcastle 1-0 down against a counter-attacking team, it doesn't make things any easier. And today we went 1-2, 3-0 ahead. So it was easier for us with regard to the way that the game developed.
This win takes you now 4 points behind Arsenal in fourth with a game in hand. So is fourth the minimum?
Well, I wouldn't say it's the minimum. The other three teams are at the moment too far ahead. Yeah. For us, it's about taking next development steps. And therefore, it was important to win this game today. Now we've got 8 games in a row without a defeat. And since I arrived, we have 3 wins and 1 draw, which is okay. We've got enough points. And it's about taking next steps. So the next game is coming up on the 3rd against Wolves, another not easy team to play. And again, it's about taking next steps.
Well, a final point to talk about next steps. The January transfer window opens. Will there be arrivals? Are you targeting players?
Well, my focus is on the current players, and as I said, we have enough players in the squad, so there is no lack of number of players. And transfer window in the winter, transfers in the winter only make sense if they really help you, if they increase the quality. And so far, we haven't spoken about that. My focus in the last couple of weeks was on the current squad.
Thank you, Ralph.
Thank you.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Same to you. Thank you.
It's every week I'm talking about that, but a lot of the performance levels have been good. So it is their margins. You know, like I say tonight, we don't get 2 blocks on, which are vital. You know, if we get them blocks on, then they don't score, and the game's quite settled at that point. We started really well. We created chances. The mentality's firm. You can see that second half. We're still going right to the end. We still made 2 great chances right at the death for Tarky and Eric Peters. But them decisive moments are important, and we're not finding them.
Right, let's head straight to Old Trafford to speak to Ian Irving. Ian, Ralph Rangnick made a significant number of changes to his starting 11 for the Burnley game, and he got a response from those players, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, especially To be honest, I mean, Manchester United won the game in those first sort of 40 minutes or so. 6 changes Rangnick made from the draw at Newcastle, which was a really disappointing performance all round and result really for Manchester United. And obviously the first half here was much different. The players looked far more comfortable because he made a slight tweak to his formation as well. It's been 4-2-2-2. I always sort of think I'm putting too many twos in there with that formation, but he changed it. So it was more like a 4-4-2, and more like a traditional Old English formation, really. And that width helped Manchester United to get those goals at the start of the game and just sort of changed the mood around Old Trafford as well. It's a really important win, considering the sort of build-up to this game had been question marks over Rangnick already. He's only been here 5 minutes, hasn't he? Or 5 games, another way of looking at it. And just a bit of uncertainty because the performance at Newcastle was so flat, so poor for United, so many individual errors. And of course, last night here in the first half, things very different. We won't speak much about the second half because it wasn't a classic from either team, to be honest, Manchester United and Burnley. But United certainly, under Rangnick, looked much better at the start of the game. And the formation seemed to suit the players more. And some of the names that were brought in sort of added a freshness to the side as well.
Yeah, you mentioned the change in formation suiting some players. One player in particular was Scott McTominay. How impressed were you with his performance last night?
Yeah, he was great. More importantly, Ralph Rangnick thought he was great. He said he's a very important player for Manchester United. He described his energy as contagious. You get the idea that I think he's going to be a really central player to his plans here at Old Trafford in these next few months. McTominay is one of 3 players who've started every single Premier League match under Rangnick so far, with Cristiano Ronaldo and Harry Maguire. And he was just absolutely everywhere. He's usually used as sort of a deep-lying player, often obviously in combination with Fred. But last night, he was given the licence to push forward a little bit, and I think he's been practicing his shooting at Carrington as well, because not only did he score the first goal of the game with a lovely right-footed curling effort into the bottom corner, which we saw a moment ago, but he could have had 2 more in the build-up to Ronaldo's goal, of course, and in the second half as well. Wayne Hennessy produced another brilliant save to stop him, a hat-trick of almost identical efforts from McTominay, but more importantly, that energy in midfield was something that I spoke to him about after the game. He said that it's something he looks to give. He looks to give absolutely everything every single time he steps out onto the pitch. He enjoyed getting on the score sheet as well, but as you'll hear now, he sort of said the right things about it being more about the team and more about the result.
It's difficult to say, obviously, for myself, the manager, the role that he gives me. I just do the best of my ability every single week, regardless of where I'm playing on the pitch, whether it's with Scotland right side of a free, midfield, more attacking midfield, it doesn't really matter. But obviously for myself, the most exciting part of football is scoring goals. So yeah, and you've got the master at that, Eddie and Cristiano, to learn from. So yeah, top job.
How important was that performance in the first half from your side, given all the noise that there always is around this club, especially after the game at Newcastle as well?
Yeah, there's always noise. It's obviously the players can either listen to it or they can take it on board, or they can just focus on themselves and keep doing their own jobs. And I feel like tonight in the first half, it was like there was no noise. It was like the crowd were with us from minute one. The manager said that we've got the best fans in the world by a million miles. So use their energy, use their motivation to do well. And obviously for us, when we go away from home, we have to do that as well.
That result, Ian, does make the Ralph Rangnick era look much better, doesn't it? Especially on paper. But there are bigger tests to come, aren't there? For
Yeah, it's difficult to judge, isn't it, really? I mean, if you look at the facts, let's look at the facts. Manchester United are 8 matches unbeaten if you include the sort of temporary period, or the temporary period of Michael Carrick and now the temporary period of Ralph Rangnick. 8 games unbeaten is no mean feat for United, to be fair, and that of course includes some tricky matches in there against teams battling for their lives at the bottom of the table, away at Villarreal under Carrick, away at Chelsea under Carrick, here against Arsenal as well. But they have been pretty unconvincing at times as well, really, haven't they? Certainly that game against Newcastle, and before that as well, United obviously had the disruption with the COVID issues, but before that started, they had the result at Norwich, a 1-0 win. It needed a late penalty from Cristiano Ronaldo to win that. So yeah, even Rangnick said it really, hasn't he, that he's sort of disappointed with where the team are at and exactly how much he's been able to instill in the players. Of course, there's lots of matches, so it's difficult to use that time sort of proactively on the training pitch to change things and work on things. The training ground's been closed at times because of the COVID problems. So there is a sense really that there needs to be more to come. Like you say, there's bigger tests to come. There's some big fixtures coming up as always for Manchester United, but the fixtures are kind. It gives them an opportunity to sort of settle settle in and get more sorted. And certainly in the first half, like we were saying before, that looked far more like a Manchester United team. A comfortable victory in the end against Burnley, and we've not been able to say that they've had many comfortable victories in recent weeks.
Let's talk about Burnley, Ian. They haven't won a game since October. How concerned do they need to be? They have a massive game coming up, don't they, against Leeds?
Yeah, they didn't look like Burnley last night. I've covered Burnley for years, and you always expect the same sort of things. And the very basic that you expect from them is to be sort of rigid, organised and very hard working. And in the first period of that first half, defensively, they looked all over the place. They were missing Nick Pope, of course, who was a big miss for them. He's out with COVID at the minute. Wayne Hennessy was making his first Premier League start for 17 months here at Old Trafford. He was actually all right. It wasn't really his fault. He had no chance of any of the goals, to be fair. But they just looked a little bit uncomfortable. They'd not played for 2.5 weeks because of all the issues that other sides have had with COVID and all their games being postponed. And they looked a little bit rusty, really. You maybe expect freshness, but it was more rustiness that we saw from Burnley. Like you say, they've only won one game, and that was a few months ago now against Brentford. They just don't look like themselves. There is deep, deep concern that this could be the year. We all predict it, don't we? I don't predict it because I like Burnley, but lots of people say every year, don't they, that they're going to get relegated, and they look deeper and deeper into trouble as this season goes on. But they've got games in hand now on their rivals. They're only 2 points away from safety in the bottom three, so there's still hope for them. But yeah, not like Burnley, that, not at all. Sean Dyche said they were coming here to have a go at the start, but I think that left them too open, really.
I find Burnley always seem to find a way. We say this every season, and they always seem to find a way out of trouble. But yesterday, Ian, it did mark a special occasion because today is Alex Ferguson's 80th birthday, and Manchester United did something special pre-match for him, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Roughly where I'm stood now in the Stretford end, there was a huge banner that was unfurled by the Manchester United fans to wish Sir Alex Ferguson, the most successful manager in the history of this club, a happy 80th birthday. He was here to witness it as well, sat in the director's box, which is a lovely moment for him. And it's fair to say the occasion went better than his 70th birthday. I was here for that as well. Manchester United had a game that day on New Year's Eve 10 years ago against Blackburn, who at the time were bottom of the league. Manchester United were looking to go top of the league with a victory, and they ended up losing 3-2 to a Grant Hanley goal. The fans sang happy birthday to Sir Alex Ferguson before the game on that occasion. There was no happy birthday to him last night, but I'm sure everyone enjoyed it far more because, of course, Manchester United got the 3 points.
Yeah, I also love that he actually took a photo of the banner on his phone. Yeah, love that, love that. Right, Ian, the question we're asking everyone on Twitter using the hashtag PLFans, what's your high point been in the Premier League this year?
Well, yeah, because I'm here at United, I thought I'd pick one for Manchester United, but it's not something that happened on the pitch, to be honest. I mean, for me, the big thing that happened this year was a return of fans to Premier League stadiums. We'd covered games, all three of us, in empty stadiums, and it just wasn't the same, was it? So to have the fans back and at full capacity for the start of this season was really, really special. And here at Old Trafford, of course, they were preparing to take on Leeds when Raphael Varane was brought out as a surprise signing, which never seems to happen these days. There always seems to be an announcement on social media first, or there's sort of reports in the newspaper, but Manchester United fans had to wait patiently for that announcement to be made. And he was brought out here from the tunnel at Old Trafford, and the roar inside this stadium was absolutely incredible. There was excitement because of Varane, but there was excitement because the stadium was full again. It was a brand new season as well, and I think that just really summed it up. I got goosebumps. It was just one of those incredible moments, and it made you appreciate being back inside a Premier League stadium at full capacity and full noise.
Ian, thank you very much for speaking with us. Ian, have a lovely New Year's Eve. We hope you go out and enjoy yourself with your family.
Be good.
Be good. Behave. As Ian Irving at Old Trafford. I was talking about Manchester United's win against Burnley last night. But our question of the day today, Alex, your high point of 2021. Wide officials got the same thoughts as me. My high point this year is Chelsea winning the Champions League and the Super Cup as well. Hashtag PL fans. And a Bone said, my high point is the Arsenal team challenging for the top 4 again. It's been a while. Hashtag PL fans.
Houston's Finest says Premier League high point of 2021 for me has to be Chelsea's 7-0 win against Norwich. That was back in October, the last time they kept a clean sheet at home in the Premier League. And Ryan says, my highest point in the Premier League this year is, of course, having fans back, seeing David De Gea back to his best. That's massive for us.
He's been brilliant, hasn't he, David De Gea? Right, that's it for part 1.
Well, Joseph, what a party.
Yeah, it was a great victory for the players, the fans and everyone.
What do you think about your performance?
I think it was good, and each game it keeps getting better.
We need this match, no, with 3 goals.
Yeah, it was really great because we fought hard for this victory and everyone deserved to be happy.
Bueno, es el mejor partido de la temporada en lo que va de liga, ¿no?
No sé si el mejor, pero sí el que hemos sabido jugar con el marcador a nuestro favor, que nos estaba costando mucho. Y sobre todo felices por ganar en casa, porque nos estaba costando muchísimo. Desde que hay público en el estadio solo habíamos ganado un partido de no sé cuántos. O sea que hoy el partido creo que era fundamental porque nos ponemos también a 3 puntos del Español, que es un rival directo, para alejarnos de ahí abajo, para irnos tranquilos de vacaciones y pensar en lo que viene.
Con el partido contra el Valencia también nos ponemos por delante, pero el Chacho se quejaba, ¿no? Un poco que nos había faltado controlar el partido. Hoy es lo que tú dices, ¿no? Se ha conseguido.
Bueno, sobre todo hoy no hemos tenido errores individuales que nos pagaron contra el Valencia. Creo que es un partido para sacar conclusiones positivas. Hemos vuelto a ganar en casa, tenemos que hacernos fuertes aquí de lo que queda de temporada, porque fuera de casa sí el equipo está respondiendo bien y tenemos que seguir esta línea.
Cuéntame el gol, ¿no? Porque ha sido una jugada rápida, pero cuando te ha llegado ha sido como mucha pausa, las pican. ¿Cómo ha sido?
Bueno, recibo de Hugo, controlo y normalmente Diego López suele salir a tapar. Veo muchos partidos y Diego López en los 1 para 1 suele salir a tapar, entonces yo controlo y él no ve lo que voy a hacer, entonces intento picársela un poquito y cruzársela con tranquilidad.
¿Cómo ya tocaba?
Tocaba, pero ahora mismo sentimos una alegría inmensa, ya no solo por el partido, sino estamos trabajando como el que más, estamos en el día a día muy sacrificados, con los pies en la tierra, con humildad, y al final somos una piña y hoy nos lo merecíamos y se lo merecía también la afición, que pues mira, no estamos ganando, no nos están saliendo los partidos en casa y aún así la afición cree en nosotros, nos apoya y nos transmite el cariño día a día.
Eso te iba a decir, has dicho que sois una piña equipo, pero la afición también. Hemos visto ese momento tan bonito ahí en la esquina.
Sí, sabemos que le debemos mucho a esta afición, no solo de esta temporada, sino que por desgracia hemos vivido un par de temporadas muy jodidas, sobre todo a nivel mental, muy difíciles de sacar, y las hemos sacado esas temporadas gracias al apoyo de ellos. En otra situación, en otro equipo, la afición lo dejaría de lado, y aquí cuanto peor iban las cosas, más estaban con uno y con el equipo. Y eso es de agradecer y se lo agradeceremos hoy, mañana y en un futuro.
En lo personal, vuelves después de varias semanas que parecía que sí, pero al final no, 90 minutos con asistencia.
La verdad que bueno, no estoy al 100%, pero creo que he podido ayudar al equipo. Venía de mucho tiempo parado, unos problemas que no se me daban ido. Entrenaba, tenía que volver a parar, volví a aparecer, volví a parar. Bueno, espero que ahora sea el fin de esta lesión del carajo, porque ya estoy frito, y que pueda ayudar y contribuir al equipo.
Saca 2001, 2022...
A por el 2022 a tope. Tenemos que seguir con los pies en la tierra, saber quiénes somos, de dónde venimos, y con esta afición, con el equipo, con el compañerismo y el sacrificio. No quiero ser pesado, pero creo que son las claves para mirar hacia adelante en un futuro.
Gracias, Hugo.
Gracias a vosotros.
Te voy a pedir lo último.